Andrew, and somebody said, I think he still looks like that today. And I just want to say thank you to Dwayne, Leon, for coming all this way from America to be with us. It's just special. You should really put your hands together. You know, Maddie Nielsen's just come down from where, Maddie? Where have you come from? Cairns, from Perth. He's just come from Perth. Pistol Pete came all the way down from Queensland. Tony, you love up the Central Coast, don't you?
Gold Coast.
On the Gold Coast. Sorry, I mean the Gold Coast. And Tony's from the Gold Coast. And it's just such an honour that these people have made the effort to be here today. And Robert Marr has come from Melbourne. And Shelley, where are you? Oh, Shelley's come from Erskineville. Sorry about that. It seems so exotic. I mean, I expected Shelley to be a lot further away. And Andrew, why aren't you sitting up the front here, the Terminator? You know, I've got a story about Andrew. At one stage or another, he was sort of a fringe player, but he was always strong. I always believed he could really do it. So I was going to do something really special with him. I called him the Terminator. I gave him that nickname. But I was going to dress him up as the Phantom. I'm a big Phantom fan. You'll see I've got one of my memorabilia things out there. And I was going to dress him up and no one was going to know who he was. And he was going to come out on the court dressed in a Phantom costume. I never quite had the guts to do it, but I was really going to do it. I really wanted to do it. He was going to be my son. And so it was great. So thank you all for coming all these distances to be here. And, you know, some people have come. My cousin Rosie has come from America with her daughter Emily, which is just fantastic. My niece and my brother-in-law have just flown back from England, especially to be here on their way to Buenos Aires. And there are people here from Queensland, like Ken Medson and others. And there are people here like Susan and Shirley from Western Australia. And there's like a ton of people that have come from Melbourne. Bobby Turner's come directly down from Singapore to be here. And for me, that's I had to put the party off for 5 days for Tom York because he wouldn't come back. But that's okay, Tom. I wanted Faye here. So I just want to thank all these people for making that effort. And to all of you that have taken the time to be here, I hope you'll enjoy tonight because as much as I'm enjoying the trip down memory lane, I hope it's just as memorable for you because I think that a lot of you also shared in that wonderful time and that experience we had, and that these people gave us such a thrill and the Flames gave us such a thrill, and it was just such a pleasure to be a part of all of that. But there were a couple of standout things that I'd just like to mention before I leave the stage, and I know they've been roasted on a little bit and I don't mean to be taking too much time up. I'm not sure if I'll get a chance to say these things again, so I'm going to say them anyway. One of the great things, 3 great events that I was very involved in, 4 really, but the winning of the bid for the Sydney Olympics. I was very closely involved with Shauna and that in Monte Carlo, and I was part of the Marketing and Communications Committee with Rob McGeoch, and he showed some tremendous leadership and the ability of, you know, how things could be done, and he was a wonderful leader, and I loved working on all of that, and just the experience of being a part of the bid, and Damien was very heavily involved in that communications commission as well. It was one of the thrills of a lifetime that I'll never forget. The 1994 World Cup that we ran for women's basketball, that I think put women's basketball on the map in this country, was one of the great things. And again, without Lorraine and the people she was able to organise around her, we would have never got it done. But how ambitious was that? We were in 4 different states. We even went down to Tasmania to play. And people said, oh, there's no way people are going to come to women's basketball. There's no way you'll get television. There's no way you'll do this. No. Ah, bullshit. We got it all. We got it all. Thank God that the women won in Adelaide in that last game and made it to the semi-final. Otherwise, they would have been right. We would have got nothing. But in the end, they did make it to the semi-final. And when they came back to Sydney to play at the entertainment centre, we had China, Brazil, Australia, and America as the 4 teams in the semi-finals. And you know, we had at least 8,000 people at every game there, and things were pumping. And you know, in the beginning, Lorraine didn't tell you the whole story, but one of the things that I insisted on was that when the girls became the Flames, I wouldn't let them play in men's uniforms. There was a big uproar in that. But a lot of people weren't very happy about that. I said, we've got to change the uniforms. And as a result of that, you now see what you see, the progression of the Australian women's team in the one piece, and it's been adopted by the Brazilian teams and the others, not the Americans. The Americans wouldn't adopt anything. They can't see a bloody thing. But it's adopted by all, and the girls are just so much more athletic, so much better looking athletes all the time. You know, I wanted them to show how athletic a female athlete can be and look. And I think that was one of the things that we changed dramatically. Little things that we changed. Sorry, and the next major thing that I think gave me even more joy than anything I've ever done was my involvement with the wheelchair basketball people. And I was approached to be the chairman of the Gold Cup for 1998, and this was a few years out, and they showed me their budget, and they were showing me a budget where they were going to lose $2 million. And I said, you want me to chair something that's going to lose $2 million? You're out of your mind. I said, there's no way you even want to put your hand up to run this. Why would you want to break the organisation of wheelchair sports in New South Wales for the sake of one event and then go broke? It just doesn't make any sense. But they persisted, and in my normal fashion, I couldn't resist the challenge. And I said, yes, I'll do it. But then when I did it, I got everybody involved. I got the New South Wales government involved, and the AIS, and the Olympic Committee, and SPOC, and we made it a major event. It was the only pre-Olympic event for wheelchair for the Paralympic Games at the time, so it was a huge focus. And again, I had a great group of people around me, and we were able to get Energy Australia as a major sponsor, and we got the Campaign Palace to support the event with their time and their campaign, and they came up with this incredibly great billboard campaign of Nobody Pushes Us Around. So they had the guys in the wheelchairs and nobody pushes us around. Lorraine's just run a wonderful Four Nations tournament, Japan and Canada, Australia and Great Britain. Who won? And Australia won. There you go. I just finished.